Okay, so that's my current MPG. Well, we're actually doing 55 miles to the gallon now. I think that fuel efficiency pack has actually made a difference on the very thirsty M2. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. With recent inflated fuel prices, it's had me thinking about ways of being more efficient with my driving, even when I'm behind the wheel of cars like my M2 competition. I'm actually on the way to a Halfords auto centre in Swindon to get this car's very first MOT done. And whilst it's there, I'm going to get an oil and filter change and one of Halfords fuel efficiency packs. And that will help this M2 produce better fuel economy, even though it has a rather thirsty S55 engine hiding under that bonnet. And when the car's being worked on, we'll have the pleasure of talking to record-breaking hypermiler Kevin Booker. He can tell us more about the Halfords fuel efficiency pack and give us some driving tips on how to be more efficient. I'll see you when I get to Halfords. Right then guys, I'm down here at the Halfords Auto Centre in Swindon and my car is behind me currently getting its MOT done, so fingers crossed that it passes that, and having an oil change with one of Halfords fuel efficiency packs. I'm joined today by Kevin Booker, who is an efficiency expert, let's call him, or a hypermiler. Do you mind introducing yourself and telling my subscribers and viewers a bit about you and what you've done?
I'm Kevin. I'm a triple world record holder for efficiency. I've been working on the efficiency side of things for 20 years. Started with a long trip to work, trying to gamify that, and now I've done lots of different events on efficient driving and just trying to get the most range or miles per gallon out of a car without actually really affecting your driving time, and just optimizing your driving style just to get that little edge over just driving in a standard way.
Can you talk a bit about what they're doing in there today?
So basically the Halfords efficiency pack, it just tries to clean out all the deposits that build up in your engine over time.
Yep.
So basically it gives your engine a clean bill of health. So if the fuel filters are blocked, it just clears all that out, just so your engine's running at its most optimum. So effectively making it run more like a brand new car.
Okay, so getting rid of anything that might have built up there over time. So it's a useful thing, I suppose, on new cars and especially used cars that have done lots of miles.
I mean, an older car will have more deposits, but it's also in a newer car, it'll stop those deposits building up in the first place.
Well, it looks like the car is just about done. So if you don't mind, Kevin, why don't we jump in, take it for a bit of a drive, and hopefully you can give me and my subscribers some efficiency tips, because let's face it, fuel at the moment, it's about £1.70 a litre.
Yeah, and I think it'd be good to show your subscribers how it doesn't have to be a small eco car, that those savings can be applied to any car, even a sporty one like the M2.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely, good point. Right, we'll jump in the car and we'll join you there. Right then guys, we are in the M2. It's just had its MOT done and passed, thankfully, and oil change, and we had the fuel efficiency pack fitted, and I have Kevin next to me in my track build car, which is probably a very unusual car to be talking about efficiency in.
It is a very different car to be talking about efficiency, but I think it's good to show that actually you can drive efficiently in the most tricked up track car or in a little eco town car.
Yes, I thought it would be a really nice idea to talk about some tips that you can give me and these guys on how to be more efficient in your everyday sort of commute or drive, no matter what you're doing.
I mean, one of the things to do, which I know is probably quite important to yourself, is to keep your car well maintained.
Yep.
A well maintained car is going to be more efficient. I mean, one of the things as well is don't carry stuff that you don't need in it. So possibly not 2 tyres in the back.
You point those tyres out. They're actually in there because I was worried. I've got my track tyres, my Cup 2s on the car at the moment that don't come with much tread from the factory. So I was worried that the fronts might be, on the limit. So I brought some spare front ones just so it would pass the MOT. But thankfully I didn't need to use them. But yeah, that's a very good, I guess, first tip is don't carry unnecessary weight around in your car. Something we did actually before we left Halfords, even though they had done it as part of the service, was just check tyre pressures, and I suppose that's a really important one.
Yeah, tyre pressures are important, and one thing which people sometimes neglect is when you purchase tyres, look at the energy rating on them. An A-rated tyre will be more efficient than a D or E-rated tyre.
Okay.
And they all have labels on them now where you can look at wet grip and energy efficiency.
Okay, so that's obviously really, really important. I mean, in the amount of times, me as someone who talks about tyres a lot, I do glaze over those figures. I look at them and, I don't really take much notice of them, but I suppose they make a big difference if you've got an A-rated tyre. So A being the best and D being the worst?
Yeah, I think E is the worst.
E, okay. Right, okay. Yeah. Well, that's another really good fuel saving tip.
I mean, that was one of the things we did when we did the Guinness World Record, is we made sure the vehicle was fitted with A-rated tyres just to optimise all of those things to make sure you get the best out of the car.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things is also to be gentle on the accelerator.
Okay.
And change when you're driving on normal road conditions. Don't allow the revs to go too high. Change gear much earlier than you would.
Okay. So like 1500 RPM
sort
of thing.
So when the car is willing to change, do that. And you can be in, a lot of people I see driving and they say, I'm not getting good fuel efficiency.
Yep.
But they'll not accelerate quickly, but they'll hold the gears far too long.
Right.
And they'll never go out a third around town. Well, actually in most modern cars,
yep,
you can be in fifth, possibly even sixth in some cars if they've got a lot of torque when you're sitting at quite low speeds.
Sure.
Fifth and sixth is not just for a motorway.
Now, speed is a big killer, isn't it, for efficiency? In the sense that, okay, we know the national speed limit's 70. Some people go a bit faster than that. Some people go a bit slower than that. But the difference between, let's say, 60 and 70 miles an hour in terms of efficiency, there's quite a big difference there, right?
Yeah, there's a massive difference because the drag is not linear, so it takes a lot more energy. I mean, if you look at some ludicrously powerful supercars, things like Bugattis and stuff, they take so much brake horsepower just to get 1 mile an hour extra at those high speeds.
Sure.
So it's just if you might find that you could sit gently down a motorway with the flow of traffic, between 60, 65, you get to your destination the same time.
Yep.
But you've used a lot less fuel.
Yep.
Because when you're going faster, you end up slowing down to overtake people, and then you accelerate rapidly. It's all about smooth, consistent driving.
Sure.
Just trying to keep it as smooth. You almost want to think of somebody told me once, you want to think about almost you've got a bowl of water on the passenger seat and you don't want it to spill. It's all about just gently accelerating and stuff.
Yep.
And gentle braking.
Yep.
I mean, the one thing as well, you want to avoid harsh braking. I mean, braking is not so much of an issue in modern hybrid or electric vehicles.
Sure.
Because you do get the energy back.
Where it's regenerating.
Yeah, in a fueled car, it's got none of that.
Yep.
All you're doing when you use the brakes is wasting that energy as heat that you can't do anything with.
Sure, yeah. Killing the energy, putting more wear on your brakes and your tyres and everything. I suppose it all adds up.
Read the road ahead, see what's coming round, so you can feed yourself into a roundabout so you don't actually stop, you just slot in with the rest of the traffic.
Right, okay, so there's a roundabout coming up here now. I've probably already come off the accelerator too late. Right, I'm going to change down. We're going to coast up to it. You can see everyone else flying into the roundabout. This Mercedes on the right, he's on his brakes. he's going to be on his brakes harder and harder. In fact, we need to be in the right-hand lane, so this could work out quite well. We're now doing 25 miles an hour. I've just touched the brakes.
Yeah, look,
there's nothing
clear.
coming. It's
Just
clear, so now we can accelerate nice and smooth. And compared to racing up there on the brakes, having to stop, I've saved a lot of fuel by doing that. And the same here, these are green. Are they going to change? Are they going to change? No. That's good. And again, leaving a nice gap between me and that X7, I almost said X5, X7 in front. And then we'll come down the slipway here. And again, this is a slipway, and it's actually downhill, this one. So
you want to use the gravity to help you accelerate. So use that energy, but don't race up to 70. No. Just make sure you're going to the speed the rest of the traffic's going, just to merge in.
Sure.
Behind this truck full of Porsche.
Yes.
Or Porsches.
Yeah.
Porsche. I don't know.
A few tasty Porsches on there.
Wonder if any of them are the Taycan.
Yeah, looks like there might be a few on there. So now we're back up. We're doing 60 miles an hour. We're on a motorway now, so speed limit is 70, but I'm gradually accelerating.
Yeah.
And 65 is a good speed in this car. At 70, it's revving. Well, we'll go up to 70 just for the sake of the camera. At 70 miles an hour, I'm doing about 2,600 RPM. Oh, GT3 Touring on there. Okay, so that's my current MPG. Well, Kevin, we're actually doing 55 miles to the gallon now. I think that fuel efficiency pack has actually made a difference on the very thirsty M2. It feels like it's running very freely and smoothly, actually.
Be interesting to see if you could hold that.
Yeah, if I could hold it. Well, it went up to about 65 then. Yeah. Obviously now we're going uphill, but you know what? We're definitely going uphill now, and it's 43 miles to the gallon. I'm actually quite. I don't think I've ever seen that on this dashboard before. So it clearly has made a difference on this car, but I wasn't expecting that much of a difference. We're now going up quite a steep incline. It's gone down to about 37. But I never see more than about 30 in this car normally. But if we lifted the speed from 65 up to 70, that would drop by a good 10%. I think we've covered some really good fuel saving tips there. So let's just run through them quickly. We've got tyre pressures, as Kevin said. Check them regularly. Go out and buy yourself a nice gauge from Halfords, and every week or two, just go around all of them, just check them, because they do occasionally lose a bit of pressure, and your tyre sensors in the car won't necessarily tell you that they've lost a couple of PSI.
Next thing is take out excess weights in your car. Don't leave roof boxes, stuff in the boot that you don't need.
Yep.
Don't leave a set of golf clubs in there if you go and play golf only once a month.
Exactly, yeah, absolutely. Then we've got, gradual acceleration, using the gears properly. A lot of modern automatic boxes, if you're in comfort or efficiency, they do change very efficiently. Like, they change up through the gears very quickly. Yeah. But obviously you can manually override a lot of them if you need to. And if you are in a manual, then you shouldn't, like Kevin said, there's no need to be in second or third gear around town. Even if you're doing 30 miles an hour, you can be in fourth or fifth in most cars.
The other thing to remember as well in modern cars is when we say coast up to around it, that doesn't mean coasting out of gear. Yep. You need to be in gear, because when you're in gear, modern cars have an overrun cut-off, so it's not fueling the engine. So as you're slowing down, you want to be in the right gear, so it's not trying to fuel the engine.
Okay, that's a very good point. And also, it adds a bit of engine braking in there as well, doesn't it? If you can time that right. Again, you're staying away from the brakes. Although sometimes it's a good idea if you've got traffic behind you as well. And I know this, I've just got my motorbike test actually. It's always a good idea to have your foot on the brake if you are slowing down for something, because it warns the people behind you. Because if you're just using engine braking, then no one knows.
Because that is the thing that's different with some modern hybrid and plug-in hybrid and electric cars, is the brake lights are not linked just to your brake pedal.
Right.
They're actually linked to deceleration curve, so they will come on so if you follow an electric car down a hill, you'll think, oh, they don't know how to drive, they keep putting their foot on the brake. But that's not necessarily they're putting their foot on the brake. It's the car's software has detected that it's decelerating at what it believes is the speed that it should put the rear lights on.
Wow.
So the lights on the back of Most EVs aren't linked just to the brake pedal, they're all done in software.
I did not know that, and that is Kevin really geeking out now, because I didn't know that, but it makes a lot of sense. So next time you're stuck behind an EV and it's going down the hill and the brake light's flashing, you can't get annoyed with the driver, because it's the actual car doing it.
Yeah, the car is just trying to signal to that it's slowing down.
See, I didn't pay attention then enough to the lights. I should have seen they were red coming up this hill, because I'm using my brakes now, and all of that efficiency is just going out the window. Oh, they've just gone green, but we've got a van in front of us. And we'll accelerate gradually away from here. And then, the other point is, lights, junctions that we talked about, making sure you've got nothing, or if you have got a roof box, because I see it especially in London, a lot of people put roof boxes on for their summer holiday and then end up carting the roof box around, using their cars, to get to work and back every day, and you just think, what a waste of efficiency and energy. Thanks so much to Halfords for making this all happen. Big thanks to Kevin for coming out today and giving me so many tips. It's been lovely to meet you, mate. I look forward to seeing you all at another video very, very soon. Cheers, guys.